First at noon, President Trump is doubling down on his push for more tariffs for foreign countries. He says it's necessary to boost America's revenue, but there are fears the action could ignite a global trade war. Erica Brown is on Capitol Hill with the latest.
President Trump signed an executive order Thursday to determine sweeping reciprocal tariffs on U.S. trade partners.
Whatever they charge us, we're charging them, so it works out very well.
The new tariffs would match what other countries impose on American imports, escalating fears of a global trade war and higher prices for American consumers.
Economists have said, time and time again that tariffs do end up being a bit of a short-term and potentially long-term effect on things like inflation. And obviously that affects price levels that we see on the consumer level.
The president's announcement came just ahead of a meeting with India's prime minister at the White House. The U.S. imports far more from India than the other way around.
India traditionally is the highest, just about the highest tariff country. They charge more tariffs than any other country. And we'll be talking about that.
The new tariffs are in addition to the 25% Trump already imposed on steel and aluminum imports earlier this week. President Trump also addressed his comment Wednesday that the U.S. would lead negotiations with Russia to end their war with Ukraine, saying he trusts Russian President Vladimir Putin when it comes to ending the war.
I believe that he would like to see something happen. I trust him on this subject.
Earlier in the day, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said his country will not accept any agreements without direct involvement in the talks. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Meanwhile, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was confirmed as President Trump's nominee to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. His nomination had been one of the more controversial ones for repeated statements against vaccines and shifting views on abortion rights. So far, all of Mr. Trump's cabinet nominees who have faced a vote have been confirmed. And Governor Josh Green issued a statement on RFK Jr.'s confirmation saying, quote, Mr. Kennedy's positions on basic public health matters like vaccinating our children will put their health in jeopardy. Under his leadership and the current administration, there will be proposals for deep cuts to our health care safety net, which we all need to fight against for the health of our nation, end quote. A suspect has been arrested following a deadly shooting in an illegal game room in Kalihi. A 38-year-old man turned himself in at HPD headquarters yesterday afternoon and was arrested for second-degree murder. The shooting happened at around 10:15 Tuesday night on La'a Lane. Police say a 30-year-old man was taken to the hospital in critical condition, where he later died. On Maui, it was standing room only in Kihei last night for a meeting about South Maui's extreme flooding problems. For decades, parts of the town end up covered in mud whenever there's heavy rain on Haleakala. Most recently, a storm on January 30th destroyed homes and businesses. The county has numerous mitigation plans, including a project to elevate South Kihei Road and stabilize the bridge.
There are models 25 years from now, both sides of South Key Road will be underwater.
And we worked with Maui County to create a precast bridge that would loop over that. I was in like 2018, 2016. I think at that time we quoted it was like $26 million. And I just saw the proposal in the paper that it was 83 million is what we were budgeting now. And all these people pay taxes, a lot of money, and they want action. So I came up with a solution with our people, and nothing happened. And so here we are years later.
Residents also proposed more reservoirs and retention basins and then using the collected rain to alleviate upcountry drought issues. Councilmember Tom Cook said that could cost hundreds of millions of dollars and take a decade to complete. To submit your input, you can head to our website, hawaiinewsnow.com.
And happy Thursday, everybody. Almost Aloha Friday. We do have a couple of first alerts up across the state right now. We've been talking about high surf all week long. We have high surf advisories up for the north-facing shores of Kauai, Oahu, Molokai, Maui, and also the Kona coast of Hawaii Island. These are going to continue until 6 p.m. this evening. And again, that's for several north-facing shores and also the west-facing shores of Hawaii Island. Just giving you a quick look at our actual numbers for this afternoon. 10 to 15 feet on north-facing shores, west-facing shores around 5 to 7, south-facing shores around 2 to 4, and relatively small out on east-facing shores as well. A quick look at our swell forecast. All of this energy is moving in. Another swell is going to be arriving by the time we get to Friday, and taking a look into next week, another swell is on the way. Coming up on my full forecast, I'll give you a full breakdown on this and the couple of fronts that are moving our way tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday.
Thank you, Drew. A new military study shows Red Hill families had higher rates of migraines and esophagus problems after drinking contaminated water. The Defense Health Agency analyzed tens of thousands of TRICARE medical records from exposed Red Hill families and compared them to others who were not exposed at Schofield Barracks and Marine Corps Base, Hawaii. It found individuals in the exposed group had increased cases of migraines and EOE compared to the non-exposed group. EOE is a chronic allergic immune condition of the esophagus.
I think that this study was a great first start to say to families, what you reported actually has scientific data to support it, and that it wasn't just all in our heads and it was not all due to stress. My understanding is that there was actually significant debate among senior medical staff of whether or not they would release this result.
The study was completed in July of last year, but it was not released for 6 months. Meanwhile, the Defense Health Agency backpedaled on the results, saying, quote, "The study does not establish a direct cause and effect relationship between the fuel release and these conditions," end quote. We reached out to the agency for comment, but have not heard back. People who have struggled for years to deal with the state's feral cat problem were dealt a blow late yesterday. As Daryl Huff reports, a bill that would ban ownership of unsterilized cats died despite having a lot of support by people who are usually in conflict.
This is the first bill I've ever seen with such overwhelming support from both our conservation community and our animal welfare community, and it just does my heart good to see something that we can come together on.
HB 364 would fine cat owners $500 if they owned a male cat over 5 months old or a female over 3 months old that had not been spayed or neutered.
This bill would turn off the tap of unintended pet cat reproduction, which is really essential to address the overpopulation crisis that we're experiencing. It would also reduce harms to Hawaii's threatened and endangered wildlife, as well as risks to public health.
It wasn't clear how the sterilization mandate would be enforced. Only one person spoke out against the concept.
People may just not take their cats to be seen by a veterinarian, full vaccinations, or anything. The bill is unconstitutional to my freedom to choose the best course for my pet.
The bill would fund spay and neuter programs statewide with a $5 income tax checkoff, fees for breeders' licenses, and taxpayer dollars. There wasn't a specified dollar amount, which made one veterinarian doubt its impact.
We need to neuter 210,000 cats in order to have any significant effect. This is a big, big issue. It needs big, big funding in order to take a serious stride in getting it under control.
The bill passed the House Agriculture Committee with little discussion, but late this afternoon, Judiciary Chair David Tarnas said there were too many unanswered questions raised by the bill and killed it for now. But like cats, advocates hope it has a few lives left. As for feral chickens, there was another bill approved by committee today that would finally allow private homeowners to kill the birds on their own, following official euthanasia guidelines, which include blows to the head. Daryl Huff, Hawaii News Now.
Thank you, Daryl. A Navy jet crashed very close to downtown San Diego. Video shows the plane in the air before it loses altitude at an alarming speed and slams into San Diego Bay. The pilots are safe. Charlie D'Agata has more.
This is the moment a fighter jet fell from the sky off the coast of California near a densely populated neighborhood Wednesday morning and plummeted into the San Diego Bay with enormous force, causing a huge splash.
I saw the jet fly over very, very low and very, very close.
It was coming down. Then all of a sudden, the noise was gone, a boom, and it was over.
The sophisticated EA-18 Growler was flying in low visibility conditions and about to land at the San Diego Naval Base when the aircraft went down. Luckily, both pilots were able to safely eject.
They advised that it did land in the water. There's Navy boats now searching the water.
Their parachutes were spotted by fishermen who pulled them to safety.
Luckily, we were there to spin the boat around, and thanks to my crew and everyone else, and we were able to swing by and pick them up and safely get them out of the water.
Officials say the pilots are in stable condition and had only been in the 50-degree waters for 1 minute before being transported to a local hospital. Crews quickly set up containment lines to try to filter out debris, including gas and oil that may have leaked out from the downed airplane.
Anytime there's an aircraft accident like this, there is a little bit of a concern about the maritime environmental impact.
The cause of the crash is now under investigation by the U.S. Navy. I'm Charlie D'Agata in Washington.
Coming up, sunny destinations are preparing for spring break crowds. A look at the measures Miami is taking to prevent violence. Plus, talk about a close encounter. A kayaker is alive after he was briefly swallowed by a whale, and it was all caught on camera. We'll be right back. It's that time of year when warm weather hotspots are preparing for crowds of spring break tourists. Miami Beach has announced a series of measures to stop the violence that has broken out there in the past. Manuel Bajorquez has more.
How you guys doing? What's going on?
You're drinking in public. That's not allowed.
In a video called Reality Check, the city of Miami Beach shows actors finding out the new spring break rules may spoil their trip.
Worst spring break
ever.
It's not every day you see a tourist destination urging some visitors to stay away.
The city of Miami Beach is currently under a state of emergency.
But given the violence that has erupted on the streets in years past, including shootings and unruly crowds, Mayor Stephen Minor says it's necessary.
Are you telling people you can't have fun here anymore?
No, Miami Beach is a city of fun. We have great beaches, we have great hotels, we have great restaurants. We want you to have fun, but you got to play by the rules.
In a news conference, the city announced new measures which include DUI and security checkpoints, license plate readers, $100 parking for some public lots, and a possible midnight curfew during some busy nights in February and March.
We didn't only break up a spring break, we divorced them, we got a restraining order against them.
Miami Beach police say similar measures last year, the first time they were implemented, led to a drastic drop in disorderly intoxication arrests, down 82%. Drug offenses were down 21% from the year before. But some hotspots along South Beach, like the famous Mango's Tropical Cafe, say the measures hurt businesses and their employees.
It's devastating to business, devastating. All of our employees that are working hard, you have a whole month that they used to do great that now they're doing terrible.
Joshua Wallach agrees something had to be done to quell the disorder, but says it's time to bring back new lawful events to make up the shortfall.
We're on pause now. You can't live on pause. We have to move forward.
Some other measures that may surely get noticed: the city reserves the right to shut down a popular stretch of beach at 6 p.m. if necessary, and also to restrict outdoor sidewalk seating at restaurants along this iconic strip. Manuel Bojorquez, CBS News, Miami Beach.
Now to video you need to see. A father was filming as a humpback whale surfaced and briefly swallowed his son and his yellow kayak off Chilean Patagonia. After a few seconds, the whale spits him out, and fortunately the man was not hurt. The father, just a few yards away, can be heard telling his son to stay calm after he was released from the whale's mouth. The pair safely returned to shore. Ain't that something, Drew?
And stick around. Coming up after the break, I'll give you a look at our First Alert Futurecast. We've got a couple of cold fronts making their way towards the island chain tomorrow, and one on Sunday and Monday.
First Alert Weather with Drew Davis.
Happy Thursday, everybody. We want to show you a live cam at Kilauea, just showing you all of the steam and fog coming out of the volcano. Of course, if you've looked outside today, you've definitely noticed the fog in the air. I feel like I'm even feeling it in my voice and my throat right now. It is definitely across the entire island chain. I want to show you our First Alert weather headlines because we're going to walk through that fog forecast as we're going forward. We've got foggy skies out there and a couple of cold fronts. One's going to move in tomorrow, relatively weak. A couple of showers out for Kauai and Oahu, and another cold front that's going to move in by the time we get to Sunday and Monday. So let's take a look at our First Alert fog forecast as we're going forward. We're still seeing the fog moving across the island chain. So this is an old run that we have, but it's really showing the movement of that fog moving in from the south and across the rest of the island chain. This is Friday morning around 6 a.m. You're still seeing fog impacting Kauai, parts of Oahu, Maui County, and of course the highest concentrations over near Kilauea and the entirety of Hawaii Island. Really, fog is going to be sticking around in the forecast for the foreseeable future, at least with these on and off eruptions that we've been seeing. I do want to talk about a cold front that we've got coming in tomorrow. So this is our First Alert Futurecast. Throughout tonight, a couple of showers are possible, maybe over the windward portions of Oahu and Kauai. And then we're going to see this weak cold front move in tomorrow, mostly going to be impacting Kauai. Not so much for Maui County and Hawaii Island. Oahu could see a couple of showers from it, but this is a very, very weak front. Another front is going to move in throughout Sunday and Monday. It looks to be a little bit stronger. Throughout Saturday, relatively dry out there. And by the time we get to Sunday, this is 10 p.m., better chance for some rainfall with this front moving in. You can see it impacts mostly Kauai and Oahu. Again, Maui County and Hawaii Island not really seeing as much impact. So our first alert hour-by-hour forecast outside right now. South winds around 7 miles per hour, 79 degrees. And expanding this out throughout the rest of this evening, you can see really nice weather. And as we go into late tonight, like I said, a couple of showers possible over Oahu and Kauai tonight. Really southwesterly winds and increasing the humidity across the state. Again, a quick look at our surf and shoreline forecast. North-facing shores are around 10 to 15 feet. East-facing shores 1 to 3. Of course, this is for this afternoon. And we've got high surf advisories up on most north-facing shores alongside the Kona coast of Hawaii Island. I do want to just show you our first alert 7-day forecast and really just walk you through what we're seeing out in the weather pattern right now. Really nice weather today and on Saturday, but things are going to change by the time we get to this upcoming Sunday and Monday with that first front, or the second front coming in. Better chance for some rainfall.
Thank you, Drew. It's American Heart Month, a great time to think about making better heart-healthy choices. Casey Lund has more.
Aloha and happy American Heart Month. We are with the American Heart Association and some partners talking about ways we can all be a little bit heart healthier. I want to introduce Dr. Deblina Dutt. She is a cardiologist with Kaiser Permanente. Thank you for being with us. We've covered a lot already today, earlier on some of our broadcasts, about the number 1 and number 3 killers in Hawaii being heart disease, number 1, stroke, number 3. We've talked about how heart disease affects women, disproportionately, and what we can all do to be a little healthier. And during American Heart Month, what are some tips to make sure that we're taking a little bit better care of us and being a little heart health conscious?
Absolutely. I think we need to be mindful of our day-to-day lifestyle. We need to make sure we're getting really good sleep, high-quality sleep, being very, very active, and really watching our diet from a day-to-day standpoint, stopping smoking. These are all things that can really make an impact on our individual risk for heart disease.
I want to also talk about cardiac arrest and explaining to people, A, what cardiac arrest really is, what it means, and how common it is to happen to you or to happen to a loved one when it's least expected.
Yeah, so cardiac arrest is when your heart literally stops beating. And it is a critical time where you need to implement early, effective, hands-on CPR to make a difference in someone's life.
And that can really change the rate of survival pretty significantly.
Yeah, so if it's CPR is administered promptly and timely and effectively, you can literally up to triple the survival rate.
Well, speaking of CPR, I believe we have a friend out here. Why don't you join me? And we're going to come talk to Dory from the American Medical Response, and we're going to learn a little bit about hands-on CPR, hands-only CPR.
Mm-hmm.
And why don't you explain? It obviously sounds fairly self-explanatory, but can you tell me the difference between that and other types of CPR?
Well, hands-only CPR is very simple. It's a couple steps. That's 2 steps, and so easy to learn. So basically, all you do is, as long as somebody's unresponsive, not responding to you, you're going to call 911.
Yep.
Get an AED, or else send somebody else to call 911 and get an AED. And then you're going to push in the middle of the chest. And you're going to push down about 1/3 of the chest, and you're going to just keep that beat 100 to 120 beats a minute.
I'm going to hand my microphone over to Dr. Dutt really quickly and see if I have learned hands-only CPR. I want to see how well I do.
Okay. Wow, that's impressive.
Not too bad?
Good beat. Very good. Very good.
Dory, I want to ask you, if folks want to learn CPR, we're not even talking about necessarily getting certified, but even just learning the hands-only CPR. Mm-hmm. What are some ways they can educate themselves?
Well, American Heart has a wonderful website. You can go to heart.org. 60 seconds, you can learn how to do this. It's very simple.
And if somebody wants to, maybe they have a small business, maybe they want to get some official certification, where should they go?
Well, they can just call us, or they can go to amr-hawaii.net. It lists all the classes that's available for you.
Dory, thank you. I want to thank you and Dr. Dutt for being with us today, talking a little bit about heart health on American Heart Month. We have more information, resources through the American Heart Association at our website at hawaiinewsnow.com. We'll send things back to you for now.
Thank you, Case. Still to come, the Honolulu Zoo has a unique way to show your special someone some love this Valentine's Day. Time for some good news. Remember we told you about Monty? He's the giant schnauzer who took home Best in Show at the Westminster Kennel Club show. Well, to celebrate his big win, the good boy was honored with a rare ribeye steak at the annual Champions Lunch. Monty is the first of his breed to win the title, and it'll be Monty's last, at least for now. That's because the 5-year-old is retiring, hopefully to a life in the lap of luxury.
I would love to retire at 5 years old.
With a ribeye steak,
yes.
Yeah. And forget flowers or candy, you can get your loved one a loved bite this Valentine's.
It's a gift being offered by the Honolulu Zoo. You can symbolically name a flower, bug, or heart-shaped treat after your partner, and they will receive a digital Valentine's Day card letting them know that their gift will be enjoyed by one of the animals. You can even upgrade your gift to include a personalized video of one of the animals enjoying their treat. Online orders must be placed by midnight tonight. For prices and information, you can visit the website on your screen.
I love how sweet and wholesome the zoo is making this, marketing this, because I've seen other zoos
with like
be
X's.
like, we'll put your ex's name on a rat and feed it to a snake.
Crocodile or something.
Exactly.
That's more fun.
Thanks for watching, everybody.